The Miss America pageant protest. Everyone thought that the Miss America pageant on September 7, 1968 would be like any other. Little did they know that havoc would be unleashed by a group of outraged women. Headed by the New York Radical Women's Organization, a protest broke loose right on the Atlantic City Boardwalk in New Jersey. It was a fairly organized protest that encompassed 400 protesters and a good 600 young men who were in a sense protesting back. The center of all the commotion was a Freedom trash can, which contained bras, curlers, pots and pans, and degrading magazines that were all tossed into the bin as an act of freedom. There was a common assumption that they burned the items in the trash can, hence the media-given name, bra burners. But this assumption was wrong, and that they could not get a fire permit on the boardwalk. Although the label bra burners did stick for women's rights activists. Deborah Barnes, Miss America of 1968, was delivering her farewell address at the pageant when a sheet was unveiled from a balcony that said, "Women's Liberation," and it interrupted her speech. Out on the boardwalk, the activists were carrying signs comparing women to a slab of meat and welcoming people to the cattle auction. They also paraded around in aprons and slippers, pushing vacuums and mops. The protest at the Miss America pageant was the first big act for a push for women's rights during the civil rights movement. The women's rights movement found success after only 10 short years of a constant fight that was fought hard by what were thought to be deserving women.
So then we marched in an oval around the boardwalk, right in front of the hall where the pageant was taking place. We were very orderly, passing out our leaflets, talking to people who were heckling us, trying to make them understand. The police didn't interfere with us. In a sense, it turned out that they were there to protect us. I mean, because the hecklers were much louder than we were. We were pretty orderly.
I really did take offense at the fact that these protesters were saying, and at least in my estimation, that the Miss America pageant wasn't respected and it wasn't valued, and that we as contestants were devaluing ourselves for participating, and it was almost like verging on prostitution, that we were selling ourselves as a commodity, and it was purely because of our sexuality or the way we looked.